You know what, guys? I think it's time we get some jazz music and we go over a huge preview into Season 22, Final Shape, basically the entire showcase event if you want to get caught up on all the information that we're likely going to see with this event. I know right now Destiny has been in a very bad spot. There's no denying that right now, and this showcase got to really pull the strings, I should say, and get the game back on track. We've always seen showcases in the last couple of years, always, get that hype level going for the next expansion, next season, and all these new quality of life features. But this showcase in particular has to raise that sort of, spark to an all-time high, because this is the last expansion in the Lion Dark Saga, and obviously we want to know about the future of the Destiny 2 game as a whole, and we might see more stuff on Marathon, on Matter, on a lot of other things, even the next few expansions after Final Shape. As you guys know, Destiny 2 will be continuing after Final Shape, so we're going to talk a lot of stuff. Hope you guys do enjoy, and please be sure to remember two things. One, be sure to subscribe and like. We're trying to get to 30K. I might do a face reveal. It'll be pretty cool if you could help me out. We're 2,000 subs away, and also get a snack because this video is going to be quite a long one. And two, we are doing a Final Shape giveaway. Now, I did say that in one of my previous videos a month ago or 2 months ago, time has just been crazy to me, that I will be giving a Final Shape copy to whoever did a comment or whatever on one of my videos. And that thing will still go on until August 22nd when I pick the winner, but I also want to do another one, as of course you guys did enjoy doing those Final Shape copies all last year with said Lightfall, except of course that was the expansion coming up. So hope you guys stay tuned, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss out. Alright, let's get right into it. So obviously this stuff is from a Destiny 2 Leaks Reddit account, and this person who tweeted all this information out, huge credit to him. I will link it down below. Go be sure to give a like or whatever if you can do that on Reddit. I don't really use Reddit too much, but yeah, here we go. So again, this information is from interviews, Bungie themselves, and leaks. So Season 22, we've talked about this a lot in the last couple of weeks, and apparently the name that has been tossed around so much right now is Season of the Witch, Season of the Deception, type of that thing, and I think that's going to be what the name is likely going to be, Season of the Witch, in my opinion. But again, time will tell. But it's not really a huge deal if I get the name wrong, because the information here is likely going to be true anyway. So Amaru will be coming back, and we're going to need him to revive Savathun. This is almost a guarantee at this point, as Liz, a credible leaker, has stated multiple times that Amaru and Savathun will be coming back. And one of the big things with Season 22, that it won't feature a vendor upgrade paradigm. So as Bungie stated, Season 22 is the first season where Bungie will use a different seasonal model that will really change the stakes. Now, we know in this season they change it a bit with how you grind in a vendor, system. Of course, there was not technically a vendor upgrade system with this season, but you got to see seasonal bonuses and a huge change with that, because for so long it has been the same vendor system. Now with Season 22, they're really going to change the stakes, which I am very excited about. We've always played the same season over and over and over again, so if they can change how the seasonal model works, then that will be huge, and that's what Bungie has been leaning towards. Season 22 will have a different type of activity like deep dives, but they are also extending in the type of content players experience in the moment-to-moment gameplay of our later seasons. Season of the Deep and Season 22, the team has been pushing to create more fresh activity experiences, like when they first unveiled the Shattered Realm in Season of the Lost and debuted Battlegrounds in Season of the Chosen. So that new type of change, that's where you're going to start seeing a different season in Season 22, so don't expect the same old season, as Bungie has stated here. Now, apparently, Season 22 will feature an exotic mission rotator. We heard about this. We got a lot of news on it recently. There will be the Presage exotic mission, the Vox Obscura exotic mission, and Operation Seraph Shield. People have also said that Bungie teased that 0 Hour and the Whisper exotic mission from like Year 1, Year 2 could be making a return, but time will tell. And we do know that new exotic missions will enter this rotator, and there's going to be this pinnacle drop. More info is on a Bungie.net website if you want to go there, but it is nice to finally see this rotator if people want to experience those type of things. So again, really big dub there. Now, apparently the returning raid, we talked about this, it is going to be Crota Zen. There is a very unlikely chance Wrath Machine will be the returning raid, as it's been stated multiple times on a lot of different sources that Crota Zen is leaning to that more confirmed type returning raid. All last year we knew King's Fall was a returning raid from the get-go, but it looks like Crota Zen is going to be highly more likely than Wrath. We know Wrath was definitely in the talks for a while, then it was Scourge because it was seen in the database, but it's really looking like Crota, and with that we can either expect a new exotic, but I'm leaning more likely Necrochasm will return, which is a huge dub because I did say in an April Fool's video that Necrochasm was going to return, and I teased and I just fooled 100,000 people. So to finally see that in the game, it is comforting, so I'm glad for that. As we wrap up information on Season 22, from the August State of the Game, we do know that a new PvP mode is on the horizon that will be launching on Season 22. That will be in the Vex Network map. That is pretty cool because it's a first new, crucial map in ages, and we'll also be getting 2 new modes, Relic and Checkmate, so it's pretty cool to see those new PvP modes and a new map to play it on. Again, I know it's not hitting all the standards that the PvP community wants. There has been a lot of feedback released, behind all over the place from a lot of creators after the State of Game launch, and I gotta admit it wasn't the best state of the game, but it is stuff that will be launching in Season 22. So for those PvP players, at least you get a map and 2 modes. So pretty good stuff there. But going more into the state of the game, some just little things so I can, get into Season 23 in final shape. There will be matchmaking improvements and loose fireteam matchmaking to the Crucible rotators, including labs. A new Trials of Osiris armor set is on the horizon. There will be scoring for strikes, replayability of cutscene, cosmetic favoriting, stasis aspects and fragments will be moved to the vendor system. Transmats will now be unlocked. There will be a resources tab added to collections. The Wish Ender pursuit has been finally improved. If you didn't know, the Wish Ender quest was glitchy, and you still had the items from the quest. Now it looks like that's finally fixed. And then lastly, we will be getting 1 new stasis aspect for each class. These being the Withering Maelstrom, the Banner of War, and the Weave Walker for, of course, all the respective 3 classes, which is pretty nice. I guess if you want to increase your strength stuff, time will tell in terms of what these stasis aspects are, so I can't wait to see it. But that really wraps up the information on Season 22. It looks like a packed season. Of course, when the showcase launches, we'll find out more about it, but from that we have a good focus, a good idea of the story, and we have a good focus on sort of the quality of life changes in that said season. Now Season 23 will be the last season of the year, and I've heard behind the scenes really this season's going to follow less on the narrative and morely be a season to improve the game as a whole right before the final shape. So I've been hearing that there's going to be only 3 weeks of narrative, and then they're really just going to fix the core, fix every core playlist, but really, start pulling in more, quality of life changes to the core playlist. Season 23 will be focused on upgrading core activities per Joe, and we're going to take more of a direct approach in our last season of the year, dedicating a significant amount of development time towards a more core ritual focused season. While this season will have plenty of new activity and story content, we want to take this time right before the final shape to crisp up our core ritual and pursuits as we head into our final expansion in the Light and Dark saga. And apparently, I don't know where to include this leak, but this is from Pre-Plunder, so take this with a grain of salt. Liz has confirmed that there will be a Vanguard Ops playlist with a Heroic Strike playlist. Apparently, if you didn't know, the Heroic Strike playlist was in the original Destiny 1 game, then it was in Destiny 2, and then it got removed, and we don't know if it's going to be coming back, but again, Bungie is extremely hesitant on it, and to touch Strike-specific loot as well, so it's just some little nitpicks there in terms of the Strike rework that they're probably going to do a little bit. Now, they do know that an update of the Exodus Crash and Inverted Spiral will be on the way, similar to Lake of Shadows and the Arms Sailor, and apparently the return of the Citadel PvP map will be coming in the season. Now, from the state of the game, we did see some little other things, that there will be a new Iron Banner mode in Season 23, a new weapon for competitive division. There will be new battleground additions and an LFG system. Now, the LFG system was a big quality of life change that was pushed back till this season, I think because the season is going to really focus on the core playlist and ritual stuff, so they really want to pull out more of those quality of life changes changes, those big ones, to this. But originally it was supposed to be launching like this season. So it was pushed back a while, but time will tell. But again, that kind of really focuses and finishes our idea of Season 23. Season 23 will likely see, of course, more things with the story evolve, but it really looks like we're kind of preparing for that said end of the saga. I know that a dungeon will be launching with this season, and it looks like it might either focus with the Vex or the Fallen, so expect one of those enemy types to be the big one in this season. But again, like I said, the narrative is going to be kind of not as high as other previous seasons, as it's more of a, again, core playlist season. Now, as we head into the final stuff, here is Final Shape, the big expansion that you all have been waiting for. We'll finally find out what it really is in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks, but here's our generic information as a whole. It'll be $50, similar, I believe Lightfall was $50. The destination is quote-unquote more open world than usual. Now, I'm very optimistic on this statement, as more open world, it's kind of difficult to say, as they said that with the Witch Queen destination and the Lightfall destination, and I kind of am agreeing that the Witch Queen destination was way more open world, because I felt like you could just go anywhere you wanted to, and there were secrets, and there was so much stuff. I don't really think that with Neomuna, so I'm hesitant to see if that statement is true. Returning landmarks will be featured in the destination. Apparently there has been talks that one of the returning landmarks seems to be the part of the Dreadnought, and I gotta say it's going to be likely one of those, as is it's kind of going to crumb a lot of the things from the previous expansions from the first game and the second game into one big destination. I do know that there was a leak a while back that's saying that, you know, Vex structures, the Dreadnought, and a lot of those other type of things that you're going to, obviously from recent expansions, come in this one, so expect stuff like that. It'll be kind of very nostalgic, which I do like. Think of it from the Tangled Shore, when that piece of that Dreadnought miniature one just fell into, of course, the Tangled Shore is pretty cool. Now, apparently there's tormentors that sort of resemble Rogue. I would definitely see something like they did with Lightfall, where they add a new enemy, you know, not type, but an enemy, you know, subtype, which is like a one singular enemy. I would like more, but it looks like, of course, a similar version of Rogue might be in this new destination. We lose to the Witness, sort of, Red War, but only us. Now, this is very interesting because it's not just, you know, everyone else. It's us that's losing. So, very interesting statement here. I know people have talked that we might die. Our Guardian might die. If you didn't know, Quarters of Time, if you played that back in year 3, you would know that we went into Mercury, into actually time traveling to save Saint 14, and we saw our own grave. Does this indicate that we will die? Pretty cool, you know, lore stuff and narrative in the horizon, I should say, for the Final Shape, which I'm very hopeful for. I'm hoping that Final Shape is a really good narrative. As you can see, these little threads are what really are connecting into what the Final Shape expansion will be. Now, the new destination might be called the Schism, and Cade isn't coming back as an actual character, more like a guide, a send-off of sorts. The beloved Exo will act as our guide throughout the valley, and he won't be able to leave, which is perfectly, you know, makes sense, I think. I don't know really the entire, you know, thing with Cade, but I do, you know, think that he's going to be more of a guide to us, so I'm very hopeful. Now, apparently there's no mention of Xidu, and this has been a highly big thing that a lot of people have been looking into. It might look like that Xidu might die or might escape in the last season of the year, being season 23, and might be drawn up to be a big bad in the next saga, or just killed off and have a good ending, so as Aramis as well, so we clear kind of two stones with one bread. One bread with two stones, you know what I mean. Kill both characters right before the saga ends so they can start fresh. I don't know if that is true, but who knows. Let me know your thoughts if you want Xidu to be the next big bad. Now, apparently Rolk and Nezzy will be in this expansion and will take lead of the Taken in the dimension that the Traveler sends them to. Now, again, a lot of people have talked, where is this realm? Apparently, I think it has been stated in leaked logs of the said, you know, Veil Containment. Not Veil Containment. I believe that's what it is. I think it is. Veil Containment activity, that it is inside the Traveler. that was confirmed by it, so I'm going to just say it looks like it's inside the Traveler. I don't, maybe it's something else. I really don't know, guys, because apparently these things can be all over the place. But the final shape is the collapsing of all time and space into each other. And apparently it's quoted to have 2 new factions, which is also really cool. So again, collapsing of all time and space. Think of stuff like, you know, the ending of Loki, if you watch that series. That kind of like ending of time and space at its own. Now, again, I think this is really cool, and they've also stated that a new red subclass, we've talked about this. Of course, there's a red subclass that came out like a month ago that showed us of a art state of a person spawning into the helm, and they had a red, you know, color on their subclass and a new super icon. Obviously, it really does look like a new subclass is coming. At first, we were very hesitant. It was unsure if it was going to happen, but it looked more leaning no, because they were probably going to take more time, maybe on Sandbox, on other subclasses at the very end. But it really does look like they're going to push for the last third subclass, which I'm also grateful for, because I feel like they got to end the saga with 3 light and 3 dark. So again, and the color looks like to be red or very dark orange. So very interesting there. We'll learn more about it later on. Now, from the state of the game, apparently there will be, this time, new Strike Crucible Gambit armor sets. Now, I know they said that they're no longer going to be delivering that every annual expansion, but it looks like they're going to be able to do it for the final shape one last time until whenever they do it again, or if they don't do it again. So it's nice to see that. I hope they make the armor good. The new Pathfinder system will be something entirely new, which will somehow connect to core activities, but will be implemented into the new final shape destination. We'll learn more information about that in the future. Basically a way to get new gear and stuff like that. There will be some entirely new weapon subfamilies in the final shape, which I know a lot of people are excited for. And Bungie said the Light and Dark Saga will be concluded with the final shape campaign and raid. So the story will not be pierced into the next 3 seasons. As soon as you finish the campaign and raid, you're done with the narrative. You're done, basically. So it's nice to see something there. Now, going into the raid, we know that there's 3-phase boss. Of course, it looks like the boss might have, you know, could be Zedorath as like the other boss, because obviously with new raids, there's always 2 major bosses, but it really does look like we're going to have like 1 boss at the beginning, maybe some puzzles, but the very end of the raid looks to be kind of very cool and hopefully very promising than the raid we got this year, which was Root of Nightmares. I hope they go all out on this one. It looks like the Witness will have 3 different phases, and those phases will be split up into 3 different encounters. We could be looking at another Last Wish. I would be down for that. I obviously know it won't be, the final shape will not be as big as Forsaken. I know it's been hinted at that it might be bigger than Lightfall, but I hope they do really good justice to this raid. If they want to go out more on the raid after they finish the campaign, go for it. I want a really good raid. So it looks like that is the point. The Witness is obviously going to be the raid boss, as stated here. The Witness will have a similar phase to No Phase from the Bathhouse and Spirited Away. Very mystical. Again, I don't really know what that is, but as you can expect, very mystical boss fight. I'm down for that. We do not kill the Witness in the raid, as it's tied intrinsically to the darkness. We have to rip out of the darkness, out of its we have to rip it out of the darkness to kill it, which takes place in a 12-man epilogue style mission that we might be loaded into after the raid. 12-man style mission. Again, take it with a grain of salt, but it does look like this. I know Bungie has been testing on those more players than 1. I know they said a while ago in Forsaken that they were thinking of having 4 players on patrol. I know it's not something big here, but having 12-player missions seems fairly cool if that is going to happen one day. But it looks like here, as we finish that's the raid segment, we're going to go into the epilogue mission segment. So this is really where, after you finish the raid and after the campaign, we're going to be loaded into this 12-man mission, which will finally be where we kill the Witness. It will be similar to Preservation in a way, but it will really, you know, plot it up as one of the big things where we will be able to handle the Witness for good in a mission by ripping it out of the darkness, and each week we will recover memories from frozen guardians from the valley that aren't dead, similar to how we got our light subclasses from the Dark Force in year 1. And life cannot move forward or backward. Everything is frozen, not in the stasis way, but like frozen in time and space. I just want to indicate that. That's something that I know a lot of people are asking about. The tower is at the center of this to unfreeze it. So apparently we talked about how the destination will be split up in all these regions, and we'll have a lot of nostalgic moments, maybe an area where Cade is and stuff. And then at the maybe at the middle of this destination, there's a huge tower, and this is basically, I guess, where the epilogue mission will take place, maybe the raid. And we have to go to the center of it to unfreeze it. And old set pieces will appear here. And that is finally where we kill the Witness, which again is pretty cool. I think as a whole, that is something that I feel could be really good if they deliver it amazingly. So again, time will tell on it. Now, as we go into some other general stuff, I should say, before we end off this video, of course, at the end of the Light and Dark saga, it looks like the Vex will be in a position to do more stuff, maybe be a big bad. I know this has been teased in other leaks. It looks like the Vex and the Nine might be some other big characters that might take the center stage after Final Shape concludes, so stuff to be doing there. Of course, they're changing the seasonal storytelling with the Lightfall expansion, as they wanted to split up the narrative into other seasons, when they changed the original roadmap to make Final Shape be a thing instead of Lightfall being the end. This was kind of maybe a test on how the community would receive it, and it looks like they don't really like that, and they learned from their both mistakes and how they can achieve success going off this forward, and that's why they confirmed that the campaign and raid will be the final send-off to the Light and Dark saga, and you won't need to wait till next year or whatever until you're done. Now, apparently, there has been a lot of talks on, an Arknights crossover. Again, time will tell, but it does look like another crossover is imminent in some fashion. So to be aware of those, going forward in every beginning of the season, a new type of crossover event will happen. So be on the lookout for that. But they really want to change the narrative arcs in a different way, and they're doing that very intentionally. So they're going to really ramp up the narrative and lead into the Final Shape with season 22 and 23. So expect really major narrative threads to really go all off with these next two seasons, which I'm really excited about. Because again, I think we really didn't see that big thread with the last two seasons, to be honest. Let's just say we saw the Witness Origins, which was amazing, but we really didn't get a lot of information. We saw Amanda die. Not a lot of threads came out of Season of Defiance, and the only thing we were left with the end of this season was that Savathun will return, which I think we were thinking of since Witch Queen, that she will return. So these next two seasons will really, bump it up a bit. But yeah, that really finishes everything up. I am very hyped for this showcase. I know a lot of people have been on edge with it, on edge on even playing the game after Final Shape, on edge to even want to watch this because they still believe Bungie will make the same mistakes or not actually solve those said mistakes with the event. We didn't really talk about it too much, but Gambit will be getting the Cathedral of Scars map, and the Lucent Hive and the Shadow Legion come in, but they really confirmed that they're not really going to initiate many changes with Gambit, so they're kind of leaving it in dead water. So to look at that from that standpoint, I can understand some of the hate, and with the feedback that was given in the last 3 weeks being very, different than what I've seen in the last 4 or 5 years that I've been in this community, I think Bungie should deliver a response to that and really show what they're going to do going forward. I know Matter and Marathon are two games that's on the horizon. I know that they're likely going to get some side of, information in the showcase. I could definitely see, Matter get some information. We know the next couple expansions are going to be teased. I'm expecting 3 new expansions like they did with Beyond Light. I'm also expecting maybe the TV and social media stuff will be, likely shown, because we have talked about how they're really going to, for years now, that TV shows and movies has been a big thing that they've been kind of looking at since Sony, bought them. And I think that's really where it's going. And we don't really know too much about it, but we know there has been job listings and that there's a lot of things that they might be doing. And I think this is probably the best time to do it, or next showcase in next year would be the best time to really start saying, okay, hey, this is what we're planning for a TV show on this social media on this place. I think Prime Video might be the best. I don't really know. I understand that, again, we really haven't seen, Destiny TV stuff, so it's really interesting to me what they're going to do, but I know there was a mobile game or something that they I believe, have been working on. I know their TV show, a movie, another game, maybe Matter, because Matter has been in the works since like 2018. So to have that maybe finally announced, which would be great. But again, we don't know. Hopefully we'll find out. But again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, why not subscribe and like? And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.